Greetings, everyone. It's your old pal, Janelle Marie, Teddy Sousa. And thank you for joining me tonight as we celebrate the new album, Lavendaria, which was released last week. In case you don't know where to find the album, it's available to you on Patreon, and you can find it on SoundCloud. I have the link below where you can look it up on your own time and have a listen to a collection of pieces I haven't released before. There's some that I have, but you can check them in with a new set of eyes. They're a collection from 2003 till now 2021. It's hard to believe it's almost, 20 years since I started this journey through epilepsy, and I just want to celebrate it. It's been quite a time for me, and I can't wait for you to check it out. And if you're wondering what else is new, I have another book coming out. I'm calling it The Valley of the Shadow. It will be released mid-May. It's still a work in progress. I have a bit more work to do on it. But the book, The Valley of the Shadow, is based on the 23rd Psalm, which is one of my favorites. And for me, it's a collection of going through continuous journey through grief and walking through death and reflecting on how you walk through death. My previous book, we walked through the lamenting process. In this book, it's going more and exploring into death, the valley of the shadow, or what I call the long part of a whole long year going through this pandemic. And I know it affects people differently. Maybe for you, it's been a very long haul and you want to go back to the way things were, see your friends, reconnect with family members better. And it's been a long, tiring journey and you feel you can't take one more step. I hope this book will help through the process, walking through the valley of the shadow, and I hope you will go and buy it. It will be released on Lulu, and I will have it also available through YouTube as an audiobook and through SoundCloud yet again. Now that I got the important news out of the way about the release of the books, I'm going to give you some bites from The Valley of the Shadow and some more poetry from Lavendaria, and I'll bring back some of my favorites of previous books such as Purpleology and Brainwaves and the collection I did with a couple of friends. I can't wait to share with you some of these. The first piece I'm going to do is from Lavendaria called Silence, and I'd been reading a book by Henri Luen called With Open Hands, and there was a chapter all about silence, and I thought, that'd be really cool to write about silence, because silence affects people in so many different ways. And during this pandemic, a lot of silence has surrounded us that it's almost stifling for some people. We need a lot of noise for some people. Noise is just part of their lives, and there's so much chatter sometimes it can be overwhelming on the internet, in the air, playing the radio, watching television, social media. I think sometimes we can be overwhelmed by noise, and silence is so important. But I think sometimes when we are around silence, it can be so much that it makes us go into a catatonic state of sorts where we can't handle it. So I wrote Silence to reflect on it being helping and sometimes being hurting. I hope you enjoy it. Here it goes. Silence. Hello, dark, and I hope you enjoy it. So here we go. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. Sound of Silence, Simon and Garfunkel. Silence, either sweet release or sensory overload. Depends on the day you ask me. Either I seek it when I am worn out, or try to numb it in a cacophony. Drown the confrontation of my lonely hours, the need to assess the troubles weighing on my soul. I sit in darkness, staring into the night, wondering if I should relent to silence. Be still, the Lord says, and know that I am God. But often I want to move far away from this mood, run and hide from stillness, consume daylight and stay in the sun. Yet it will burn me if I don't wear protection. I cannot bear the glare of the aching. My heartache is weighing me down. I must return to quiet. Serenity will come when I close my eyes, breathe in, be still, exhale, know He is God. Silence will not devastate me, but soothe my soul. The next piece I want to do is called Recycle. I wrote this a while back, but I never really put it to paper because I'd kicked it around in my head for a while. And everybody thinks that there's always something new under the sun, but really it's not. There's a lot of things that come in cycles and in seasons. For instance, with the trendy baggy pants again. I remember when that was popular when I was a kid. And they're back again. It just recycles itself. Or sometimes, oh, that theory's old. Well, that theory's all new. Well, not exactly. If you look back far enough, you will find the supposed new things are actually old things. So I wrote it based on things I see and realize, no, there's nothing really new under the sun. So this is Recycle. Nothing is new under the sun. Our minds have a short memory bank, pushing thoughts out to make room for more information. Our minds transfer thoughts on neural waves, attached to ideals and theories in fashion, until they fade away for 30-odd years, only to resurface in another guise. Our minds will not always see recycled ideology, for our brains are limited in data storage. We try to salvage memories, but they are lost. Artifacts buried in the recesses of our hippocampus. So we recycle what is possible to stimulate a positive response in hopes of finding treasured memories. I can hear you applauding in your own way, whether you're going or just yes, the ASL sign for applause, or you're going, this is the sound of one hand clapping. Wow, that was deep. Or if you want to do it in, if you know who Chris Bernstorff is, you can do it in his unique style. Feel free to do so. This is him. Oh yeah! Praise King Jesus! I'm so happy for you. Oh yeah! And do some moshing if you prefer. Love you, Chris. You have a great style. That's you. Love your brother. Anyway, enough about Felicity Fest. Crew. You know, everybody has their own unique way of clapping, or a unique way of clapping or introducing themselves. That's just the way Chris would clap if he was here. He is the dearest person in the world. He's like my brother from another mother, honestly. But anyway, I wrote this piece called Time Travel. When you enter the disabled world, you end up in a whole nother time zone. Your body goes in a whole nother time zone. There's what I call the Eastern Standard Time, Central Standard Time, Mountain Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time, and then what I call DST, which is short for Disabled Standard Time. A whole different time zone in and of itself. It's an amazing time zone, by the way. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's a little rougher, but yeah, that's the only way I can think of it. And for me, it feels very similar to being an Alice in Wonderland at times, where I'm falling down a rabbit hole and I don't know where I'm going. And sometimes I feel like Doc Brown from Back to the Future, where in the future there are no roads. And that's kind of what my body does to me. And I'm wondering, how in the world did I get here? Where did all the time go? So I wrote this piece called Time Travel. Yes, Time travel. I hardly change in a new century, yet my bones tell on me. 20 years aged in a body of youth. Vampiric, sleeping at odd hours, though for never long enough. Showing no signs of it on my face. Some days I feel flung into the wrong decade. Sent into hyperspace, no roads ahead. I am in an alternate universe. Crib time, as my fellow advocates say, yet not always acknowledged by name. It is a strange place to reside. When the world operates on an axis of vitality, ironically, I am navigating a strange set of controls beyond my understanding, and I am never alone. This next piece I'd like to share from Lavendaria, which is a unique name in and of itself. So I'll tell you a little bit about the title of the book, of the album that I did. Lavendaria is a combination of two words, lavender, which is a beautiful color and flower, and it's the color for what I am, the ambassador of purple for epilepsy awareness, and diary. Put them together. I was actually looking at a Italian soap maker that has lavender soap, and I originally wanted to call it, ooh, how exciting, the Lavender Diaries. Snooze fest. Not exciting. I don't think anybody would buy a product called the Lavender Diaries unless you really like lavender and then you think it would be Lavender Diaries. Oh, maybe it's a whole cookbook of making lavender soap or something. I don't know. That's just the way I think. Anyway, I thought Lavendaria sounds more exciting because it's a lavender diary, and it's just a journal for the epilepsy advocate, which I am. I've been one for a long time, so I thought, that kind of sounds fun. It's a fun way to say it. Lavendaria. Ooh, sounds interesting. I want to go buy that product. I want stickers. Ooh, I want to go find it. So I put that in there, and I hope you will go out and buy it through my Patreon account, and I hope you will go buy the stickers to go with it. I have a sticker with the album cover, and I also have a purple sale going on where you get 2 stickers for $5, but it for $5, and you can get it exclusively through my page. And I hope you sign up for it and you like it. I really do. It only works at the $10 level, and it's good till March 31st. Now this next piece I call Compartmentalized Cells. I don't know about you, but how many of you put yourselves into different cells? Honestly, do you do that? If you grew up in the church, did you ever find yourself being compartmentalized into different modes? This is you going to church mode. This is you when you're with friends mode. This is you at home mode. This is you with your family mode. This is you in your community mode. This is you going to when you were in school. This is you in school mode. Let's be honest. I think a lot of you are probably going, yeah, I kind of have done that a few times. Not realizing half the time yourselves kind of intersect. And it's important to acknowledge that you can't exactly keep yourself into one tiny little compartment, because over time your compartments will overlap. What you do on your day away from church definitely pours out into the days that you are in church. And if you keep your, say, disabled self separate from your non-disabled self, as the way that you think about yourself, they will intersect and bleed over into one another. And it's not healthy to let your non-disabled self get into your disabled self's head, because it can be very negative. I can speak from experience on this, that I've been discounted a lot as a non-disabled person, even though I am. And I admit that I cross into 2 different worlds all the time. I have my foot in disabled world, and I have my foot in abled world all the time. I'm always standing on 2 different countries half the time. And some people say I'm not disabled enough. And some people say I am disabled, but I can't prove it to them because no matter how many times I try, they don't believe me. So it's always a bit of a paradox of sorts. So, yeah, you like my hat? Cool. Anyway, it's a lot of compartmentalizing, and I've had to do a lot of work to stop compartmentalizing myself into different modes and realize that, yes, I am a very complicated person. We all are. I'm very complicated, and it's important that I have to quit putting myself into these cute little boxes because I am all these different parts. I am I'm this person and that and that and that and that and that and that and so on. So if you want to learn anything from me, it's important that you quit compartmentalizing yourself into different pieces, because you can't do that. You can't cut off one side and hope that it doesn't bleed over into the other side, because guess what? They're always going to cross over. Always happens. Always does. So this is about the struggle with putting yourself into compartments. So here it is for all of you who are going through the decompartmentalization and breaking down the barriers in your head where you say, no, I'm not going to let this get into this part, and so on and so forth. So this is for you all. Compartmentalize me into cells until my cells don't overlap. It is a pain to separate myself into categories, a variation for every mood. Musical self, advocate self, writer self, caregiver self, friend self, sister self, community self. The oleo goes on and on. The circles overlap and cross paths. There is no room for separate selves. I am a complicated web woven into a unique garment. A patchwork quilt of scars and wounds, worth every square inch to tell stories for generations to come. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed that. I wish I had the applause sign right now so you could just do that. Ha 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 ha. Applause is good. Alright. I'm not going to do any more from my book because I want the album because I want you to go listen to it and enjoy it. So the next thing I'm going to do is a little sneak peek from The Valley of the Shadow. It's really exciting to do this, and I hope you enjoy parts of the book that I am giving to you. It's taken me a while to write The Valley of the Shadow. I always find that when I am writing a new book, the harder the topic is to write about, the more I struggle with it. And this one was no easy feat. This one was harder than my previous book because it's deeper and it's getting a little more personal. And when I have to get into my vulnerable personal space, then I think perhaps I write better because then I'm getting in touch with things that are hard to talk about, and I really need to do that better as a writer. Sometimes it's hard to put your thoughts to paper, but I've had to look over it and go, yeah, I really need to address that, and maybe somebody else will want to do that too. This next piece is dedicated to my good friend Hope. Love you. So this is for you. It's called Beauty in Chaos. Beauty in chaos, joy and pain, hope and desperation, peace and war, love in a time of sorrow. How can it be? The opposite only seems to flourish, nurtured by apathy, planted in the waters of hatred. How, when depression overflows, numbing our senses, seeking to escape, the ugly fatalistic approach to life. Yet your light continues to shine. In the darkest of times, when we are out of resolutions, we must turn our eyes towards your face, O Emmanuel, where there is beauty in chaos, joy and pain, hope in desperation, peace in war, love in a time of sorrow. How can it be? When we are empty, you fill us up. When we break, you heal our wounds. When we are lonely, you are here. There is nothing you cannot do. When we are empty, you fill us up. When we break, you fill our wounds. When we are lonely, you are there. There is nothing you cannot do. For you bring beauty in chaos, joy in pain, hope in desperation, peace in war, love in a time of sorrow. How can it be? You bring beauty in chaos, joy in pain, peace in war, love in a time of sorrow. How can it be? Sounds a bit musical, doesn't it? Yeah, I kind of pictured it as a song. Yeah, can you hear the tune in your head a little bit? I know I can. If it would be a tune, it would probably be something like beauty in chaos, joy in pain, peace in desperation. Or no, it would be more beauty in chaos, joy in pain, hope in desperation, peace in war, love in a time of sorrow. How can it be? Oh, how can it be? Something like that. I don't know. Just playing around with it a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, enough of my singing career. So, a long time ago, I used to lead worship. I know. Unbelievable, huh? I led it until I was in my 20s, and then I had to walk away from it for a while. I had a really tough time walking away from it. I mean, I ended up loving it, and then I ended up hating it for a long time because I felt, what am I going to do? I can't stand on the stage for a while. I was getting horrible migraines, and I didn't know what I was going to do with myself. I love singing, and I had to walk away from it for a while. And then it's hard to believe it was 11 years ago. No, it was actually 10. I was going to be in a band called Straight Street, Strait. Yeah, it sounded similar to Jethro Tull. I was going to be the lead singer. I was so excited. I had an opportunity to sing in the band, but life happened. I didn't get to cut the first album. Our band leader was in a car accident. It affected his guitar playing skills, and he broke both his legs. Yeah. And then one of my other bandmates died shortly after. He went to bed, complained of having a headache, and never woke up again. Yeah, I was crushed. I admit it, I was deeply crushed. I really had hoped to be in a band, but it didn't happen. I thought, this is it. It's over. I'll never do music again. And then, funny thing happens. Years later, I run into Jay and be part of the music scene, and here I am, back in the music scene again, and I love it. And I was so happy to go back to Flood City Fest, and I really enjoy the people who are a part of that, because I had completely turned my back on it for a while, and I thought I never want to go do that again. But when you say don't half the time, God says yes. Sometimes you maybe you're like, but I thought this was over. It's not over till God says it's over. That's one thing you learn. It's not over till God says it's over. Then it's over. So you gotta quit. If you're beating yourself up over something you've done, and you feel like it's the end, guess what? It's not the end. It's only the beginning of something amazing, and you just can't see it right now. So don't give up. I'm not gonna give you a big pep talk of, oh, look for blue skies, cheer up, it's all gonna be good. I'm not gonna promise you it's gonna all be good. It's gonna be hard. But it's gonna be all hard. No, I can promise you that if you need someone to talk to, please get in touch with me. I want to talk to you. I would love to talk to you. So, I'm gonna do for you another piece called from the album called. Why is it doing this? Anyway, Waiting for Hope. No easy walk to freedom from Boy, is that a mouthful. Let me start again. Waiting for hope. No easy walk from freedom from fear. There, I got it. Whew. Waiting for hope is when it feels futile, when I am barely holding on by the skin of my teeth. Hope is a 4-letter word, wishful thinking. Though I watch from my tower, prayerfully lamenting people and places gone by. Time changed from yesteryears. I sit in tears asking how much longer? How many more will have to die? I have no answers to give. It's not my job to understand. Waiting for hope sometimes crushes my soul. Longing for what is to come, though not yet here. It is in the difficult process I am learning to grow up, though it shatters everything I thought impossible. Yet he said, with me all things are possible. I scratched my head, unsure but willing to follow. Lead me now, O Lord, in the valley of the shadow. It is no easy walk to freedom from fear. Help me to see thee more clearly, love thee more nearly, follow thee more dearly, day by day. This I pray. I'm going to do one more from this, and then I kind of want to go to my older work. I hope you don't mind. Okay, maybe I'll do one more from Valley of the Shadow, because I could probably hear some of you going, oh, please do one more, please do one more. So here we go. This is called Kinetic Fingers. Electrical devices quit at the touch of my hand, yet with the other they resurrect to life again. I can't explain this phenomenon, how it switches off and on. My body is full of quirks. Another chapter of oddities. I am a slider. My fingers glide across the screen, touching with stubborn willfulness or easy, skillful mastery. It is hard to tell what comes each day when my fingers read the page, feeling the words in color. Tingle up and down my spine. I seem to hold so much energy. It flows in the kinetic synthesis to bring my world to life. Peacemaker. Have I wasted my time for you to hear? Is it too long to listen? So long to bother? Am I only pretending for sanity's sake? For what shall never go away? I wonder as the pain stabs at my chest, the heartache which tumbles throughout. I ask how long and wonder if we shall ever see eye to eye again. I don't know if you shall listen quickly, softly speak, or not rush to anger, but I can only hope it will be, as injustice keeps pouring out, and love will not relinquish its mount. I wait and hold on best as I can, though it feels as if mountains topple, as if my finger won't hold in the dam, and it will all tumble in one big whoosh. Blessed are the peacemakers that aren't drowned in the current of words or caught in the whirlwind of anger. For now, I fight for peace. I fight for love. I fight to keep it together until the world disintegrates. I fight for friendship, even if it costs me vulnerability. I don't know how or when it shall end, but I try to remember someday when it is over, resting in the promises, love will reign. Okay, I'll do one more. All right. Disability nation. If I reside in a nation, it is called disability. It speaks its language, contains its currency, maintains its laws. There is no such thing known here called normal in society's sense of the word. It is a unique culture, with clothing and vehicles, driving on its roads, with schools of thought, bridges of carbonate steel cut stones. I was told, you can't live in this place. It is not acknowledged, not accepted, or always represented in the media accurately. As a native, I educate, hoping to alter the perspective persistently. Maybe, someday, the United Nations will hold a vote, taking an interest, say aye, and make it a nation of its own. Then I can pack my things, move in, and stay if I desire, or want to keep my nationality. Since I have a passport already stating I am a resident of both here and Disability Nation, it may undergo a title change to something more intriguing, more fascinating, like the United Country of Neurodiversities. Possibly. Until then, I won't be able to leave my identity of dual citizenship in this place and the nation of disabilities. Now we're going to go a little bit old school with a release I did, and it's called Afterthoughts, an album that's also available to you on Patreon. And if you haven't done so already, please become a patron on my Patreon account. I urge you to do so for as little as $3 a month. If you wish, you can do more and subscribe to the newsletter, get some stickers, have first dibs at any new releases, and more, including stickers. Did I mention stickers? Oh yes, you will get stickers. I have lots of lovely stickers to choose from. That's enough of my advertising. Now we're going to move on to a piece from Afterthoughts. And this is one of my favorites I wrote. I call this one No Shrinking Violet. When I go, don't wear black for me. I hate it when you weep in dreads of gray and deep silver. I won't be happy knowing you hold it against me for leaving you. You cry as if I am gone forever, that I am spending an eternity in a netherworld, isolating myself inside a balloon of my own making. Too bad you have not understood a single word I have said. I am not dead, but living much better than you believe, especially in social media settings. Please, wear something brighter, in lilacs at least. No, I am far from running out on this fight. I am speaking up with a voice of my own. Remember, I am not alone. The war is not over. I have yet begun to battle better, even to the bitter end. I am hardly a shrinking violet. Thank you. I hope you have been enjoying this program so far. I really have loved writing and entertaining you, and I hope you have enjoyed my thoughts too. And here comes the next piece, called The World I Never Knew. Residing in an alternate ending, a realm where I am sent to steward, lands featured in weeds, soil hard, and needing irrigation and tears, unsteady on my feet, pushing the boundaries between hope and despair, wondering if anything will come of this, the world I never knew. Praying for relief, comfort, and peace when the weight of the world falls upon me. Jesus, help me walk in the valley of the shadow. I can't stand on my own. I need you to keep me focused. Remind me I am never alone. Now I'm going to flip to another book I had written a couple years ago called Freeways. You can purchase it on Lulu.com. You can also listen to it on my SoundCloud. And you can also get some stickers to go with this wonderful book too. I have plenty of them. Okay, let's see what. And I wrote this to honor my grandmother. She was an amazing piano teacher. Seriously, she was a great piano teacher. And I really have loved learning with her, even though I can't play piano at all. I really can't play piano. I've tried, but I am horrible at playing piano. That's, I will tell you, is true. So here's one that I wrote called Forget Me Not. I have written this. This is one I wrote in the hospital. It's hard to believe this has happened 6 years ago, but I wrote this in the hospital when I was getting some testing done, and I wrote this one if I couldn't sleep. So this is for not sleeping in the hospital. Forget me not, O Lord, though the golden cord breaks, memory fades and confusion fills my days. Forget me not, O Lord. Time dissolves into itself. I can't discern between a month and a year. Names, dates, places blur. I try to form a figure in my mind's eye, but a fuzzy, formless blob appears. Be near me to the end, ever faithful, my treasured friend. I can't rely on anyone but you. Forget me not, O Lord, as I often forget you. This next piece, I think, perfectly describes how I feel often as an advocate, and I got kind of sick of hearing that I'm a brave person. I'm really not. And it was usually used with the, oh, you're just so brave. And during the pandemic, a lot of people have changed their minds about me, especially being home all the time. A lot of people say, oh, if I had to be home all the time, I would just hate it. I would scream, and I don't know what I'd do with myself. And I go, have you known? And it kind of gets a little bit, you get tired of hearing it, that you're so brave and that you're just so wonderful when you're an advocate, and you go, it's annoying. And so I kind of wrote this in response after hearing it for the 15th time. So I call this, Don't Call Me Brave. Don't call me brave because I have a disease or a disability. Don't say I have courage for tying my shoes or lifting my spoon. As a record milestone to engrave on my tomb. It is inspiration porn, holding me up, mocking, degrading, cold aspiration, comparing myself to another in my community. Don't say I have no excuses. I should climb a mountain or go to graduate school. I am not your ideal, your token crip, your golden goose. Call me by name. Call me a friend, an associate. Don't call me brave, unless you mean to say I fight stereotypes, misnomers, myths. I educate, take down ableism by number and name. Don't call me brave for disability's sake. I wrote this next piece to go along with a card I have been making a lot of, and I hope you enjoy this. It's called Hope Breathes in My Heart. It's dedicated to a friend of mine. Hope breathes in my heart as the brightest light in the dark. It won't be dampened or ignored. It glows vividly. It never gets old. Hope is alive and well. Never forfeit joy in the morning. As dew falls on the grass, hope does in my heart. This next piece I want to give to you as an invitation to let you know that I have a place called The Belonging Place, and if you are kind of feeling isolated and stuck and alone, I want to remind you that you belong. And if you feel, I don't have anybody, yeah, you do. You have me. So this is called You Belong. You belong in this place, in this moment, right now, right here. You have a space reserved. Your name is on it. Take your seat. Claim it in the name of camaraderie. I seek you out. Please be my neighbor. Be my friend. The invitation is open. I wrote this as my second book, Purpleology. Yeah, I'm going backwards. Woo! Yay! And I just wanted to do this piece, and I love this book. It's been a while since I've been in here, so I wrote this as from a movie called What About Bob. I don't know if you've ever seen What About Bob, but he talks about telephones for some reason in the one line with one of the main characters. And so I kind of based off a line from What About Bob. So here we go. Telephones. People are telephones. Hello and goodbye. Put on hold, busy signals, hang up, and try again. Disconnected, cut off for a time, or a wrong number. Try another. Seek assistance from the operator. Don't give up until you find the right connection. If you haven't reached your party, don't lose hope. There is someone waiting to talk on the other end. People are telephones. Hello and goodbye. Parting is sweet sorrow. When you hang up, you can reconnect at any time, unless the phone is no longer in service. Thanks. I'm going to read you another one of my favorites. There's a lot of favorites in here I love. I call this one Chew on This. I was looking in the grocery store when I wrote this one at different flavors of bubblegum, and it just sort of popped out. Chew on this. Chewing on this decision. Cinnamon experiment, turning over each flavor at intervals, blowing sticky sweet bubbles of resolution, removing any misconceptions from my cheeks. Yikes! Stripes. My palate burns with profiles of bold flavors. Licorice, peppermint, passion fruit. Spit out the decision. Minted as before, but formed on its own. And I'm going to read you one more from this. This is one of my favorites. It talks about how how my eyes are different. Yeah, I see with kaleidoscope eyes. I call myself the girl with kaleidoscope, the guy with the kaleidoscope eyes. That's me. So, yeah, I've had it for a long time now. So here we go. Kaleidoscopic eyes. I can't turn the knob to mild on an ocular migraine. The wild burning sensation highlights the world around me. Adjust the kaleidoscope. Prints in bold and bright patterns flutter swiftly by. I can't make it still. Overwhelmed by spectacular sight, it grows heavy on me. Though I want to ignore its throbbing, pulsing, vibrant light, I can't trade my kaleidoscopic eyes. This next one I want to do is from a book I did last year with some very talented people. This was a project I did called, under my real name, called Life on Hold, Reflections in the Hourglass. I always wanted to do a book on lament, but I failed at it on my own, so I needed to call in some reinforcements. So I checked in with a couple of friends and said, hey, anyone interested in working with me on a book about lamenting? And I got in touch with some friends, and they said absolutely yes. And this book has a couple of great people on here, aside from myself. For some reason, it doesn't have everybody's names on the cover, so I'm going to let you know who has all been part of this project. If you're part of the Flood City Fest family, or aka J Fest family, you might recognize some of these names. There's Nathaniel Fitzgerald, there's Jacob Goins, there's Kavina Hall, there's Janelle Marie, there's Michael Rosado, and Jay Kosla, who designed the beautiful cover you have just seen. And then I had my buddy from one of my fellow Epi Warriors, Kat Slagle. They have all contributed some amazing pieces to the book. And I love these pieces. And I would like to share one of my favorites with you from one of these writers. I know I have a lot of pieces myself, which I do, but I want to read one of my favorites by one of my friends. And Michael Rosado, aka Windward, is one of my personal favorites. I really love his work, and he has a lot of amazing work out there. Right now, he has a new album out, and it's pretty exciting. The Light That Never Goes Out. He worked on a collaborative project. You should definitely go check it out. Please, after you're done watching this, go and check out Michael's work. So I'm going to read to you read Old Oak, one of my favorites, by Michael Rosado. So here we go. Old oak tree branches mesmerize, but I know I'm not that impressive. Reaching toward heaven in a feeble attempt to reach glory, or is it desperate in humility, knowing its state of dependency? Though standing tall where my feet are planted, roots hide beneath the surface. The earth they cling to will surely perish. All I see is destined to decay, but still I can't seem to pry these fingers away from the dust from which they came. Sometimes I claim it's the image and I bask in its splendor. Oh, its 7 wonders. I'm in a lightning storm, but I can't hear past the thunder. Fierce winds test my strength, but it's not measured in quantity because my leaves are letting go and my beauty's giving way. I'm finding that the storms in life ain't a test to see who's loyal, but a test of faithfulness in the quality of the soil. I once thought I had a fear of heights. Turns out it was a fear of falling. And in all my folly, it seems my fears weren't hidden from the truth. That glory is not found in the fruit of the tree that seeks to prove, but rather in the secrets of the roots. Can I get a finger snap on that? Yeah. Or a jazz hands, something. Yeah. Anybody? Yeah. You read me on that one? Yeah. I read you on that one. And now we're going on to another one of these writers who I'd love to highlight. My good friend, Janelle Marie. She's an amazing writer. She's written The Valley's Not Your Home and To Whom It May Concern, which you can find on her Bandcamp page and on Amazon. So please go support her work. She's amazing. I'm going to read one of her pieces called Renovations. Like a house weathered by a storm, in need of repairs, my heart is aching to be restored. There is water damage. The power is out. The roof is close to caving in. It can't withstand more bad weather without some healing first. I can't keep going like this. I have to stop ignoring the wreckage in hopes that it'll fix itself. Thankfully, my heart is resilient. Regretfully, I waste time being afraid to put the work in, like Jesus' unshakable heart isn't my model. Like he hasn't already given me the blueprints. Like together we haven't rebuilt my heart before. I am going to take care of myself. I am going to tell myself I deserve it until I believe I really do. I am determined to put away the no trespassing signs during repairs this time. Make the construction open to the public. Recovery is as hard to put on display as it is to watch, but I place a welcome mat on the front porch anyway, ready to work my way through the damage, the fear and the shame with my doors wide open. We should never feel alone during renovations. We need the extra hands. We have so much to learn from each other. If only we weren't afraid to let our healing be a lesson. Sharing the ways we've learned to cope would only be a blessing. The restoration should always be generous, honest, and freeing. When I fear I will never make this place look worthy of being called home, I am reminded that there is beauty in potential. If only we would shed our shame long enough to see it, show ourselves some grace, take another look. I stand in awe of my what-ifs. Even with their flaws, the possibilities are gorgeous. God gave me a hopeful heart, a room on the first floor. I only see it when I have the courage to step inside these weary yet promising walls. You can find it too, just past the front door to the right. It's full of windows, always flooded with the light. Thank you. There's a lot of great writers. Terrific. Jacob Goins is amazing. So I wrote this piece myself. It's dedicated to a friend of mine who passed away. I can't believe it's been so long. she died 3 years ago on Easter. And this was what I had felt after she died. It took me a while to collect my thoughts, but here it goes. It's called Sun and Snow. This morning I heard that you were gone, so I sat down to write you a song. The time spent with you seems so long ago. I recall the days we shared random road trips and dance parties. I enjoyed your wacky sense of humor, infectious laugh, and late-night stories. There gleamed plenty of hopes in your eyes. But your time came, and I forgot to say see you later or goodbye. I know you went away, and our plans got delayed. You moved to another state, hungry for opportunity knocking at your door. Taking chances, no second glances, as you made your mark in your own way, no glimpses back to yesterday. Oh, I have seen the sunshine, walked in the pouring rain, traveled through the storms, wondering where they would end. I have traversed the cloudy skies, unsure where my feet would land. I have said goodbye more times than I care to count on my hands. Yet I hope to see your smile at least once more, my friend. Dear Father, help me walk this valley low, though it seems a blandishing of better times. Aid me to stand still and listen, as I weep alongside my friends. Lacerations cut deep, knocking the wind from beneath my feet. Unable to speak or cry, my heart uttering sorrows too deep, no mind can understand. I release to you with open hands, vulnerability, humbly, hoping to press me to life's tasks. Oh, I have felt the sunshine, walked in the pouring rain, traveled through the storms, wondering when they would end. I have traversed the cloudy skies, unsure where my feet would land. I have said goodbye more times than I care to count upon my hands. Yet I hope to see your smile at least once more, my friend. 10 years is a long spell of friendship, hard to keep. Distance and life distract the essentials of being alive and celebrating each season. Much can change a person's perspective, but you stood through many messes. Sorry to say I wasn't always there to uphold my end. Try as I might, I failed many times to be as supportive as I'd like. However, you understood and stood by. Youth can only turn mature, tempered by hard lessons and growing pains, wizened by sowing the seeds of difficulties and strains. You had your share of them too, and many losses. Now it is you. So I tip my hat in kudos, thankful for the memories shared. Oh, I have felt the sunshine, walked in the pouring rain, traveled through the storms, wondering when they would end. I have traversed the cloudy skies, unsure where my feet would land. I have said goodbye more times than I care to count upon my hands. Yet I hoped to see your smile at least once more, my friend. I hope to see you smile once more, my friend. Someday, maybe, I will see your smile again. Yeah, it's a heavy one. I know. Anyway, that's enough of heavy poetry there. I know you should always end it with a little bit happier, but I can't say I will end it a little happier. But I'm trying to make it a little bit more hopeful for you all. And so during the past few months, even last year, I had people sort of ask me if I had a secret to withstanding this time, how I do it, or what's my secret to being at home all the time. Some people obviously think that persons such as I are experts on being at home all the time. And there's this misconception that because you're home all the time, you're safe, but you have this hidden source of strength. I don't. I don't have any strength whatsoever on my own. I don't. I'll tell you that. I don't. And there are some days that are more challenging than others. I'll admit that. And, the longer you go, cycles and seasons. Some cycles and some seasons are harder than others, and you find yourself falling into a pattern. And you try to find the little things that make you happy in the middle of them. You try. And sometimes I don't want to do this. And so I've been listening to a song from my pal, Joy Ike. She has a song called All the Time in the World. And for a long time I've been ruminating, how am I going to answer this question of what's your secret? How do you manage to, keep going when we don't know when this pandemic is going to end? So I thought, how the time in the world to make a difference. And I've been listening to it and I could write an essay about it. So I did. And I wrote about all my amazing experiences. I've had quite a few, going to DC and being part of J-Fest, being an ambassador of Purple, meeting friends online and offline, joining nonprofits, visiting Pittsburgh, cooking with a professional chef, going to a campsite, a unique one, doing YouTube videos, such as this one. And, it's important to reflect on the things that you can be grateful for. Not always easy. I get it. But if you want a simple exercise to practice gratitude, pick one thing you were grateful for and just say thank you. If it's a person, say thanks for listening, or thanks for being part of my community. Thanks for reminding me I don't have to go through this alone. And just take a couple of minutes and say thanks to someone who's just been walking with you through this journey as we're on hold still, and we're waiting to find out when we are going to when it's going to end. And I don't know when it's going to end. I don't know, but it's definitely going to change us all. And there are things that have been exposed that we didn't realize that needed to come out, and in ways it's been hard. I've had some of my friendships dissolve. I've had some be strengthened and renewed, and I've sent so many care packages to people. It's unbelievable. And finding, a sparkle of joy through the process, And a lot of it's been waiting and sitting and waiting in the silence as doors have been closed, and you're just waiting, okay, what's going to happen next? And that's a lot of it's been waiting, and waiting for hope, and waiting in hope. So I wrote this one, Waiting in the Unknown. Hope is my stronghold. And so I read this one. I want to hold your hand, walk with you again, though my heart is grieving the distance. I keep my hope alive. Someday we shall be together. I don't know where or when. It is a long journey, holding out when uncertainty lies ahead. You can only watch and pray. Be vigilant, not complacent. It takes so much for me to stand strong, though I am weary. My feet trod the well-worn path. I can't do much except walk on. As the days grow short, hours are memories. I cherish the temporary setbacks and shortfalls, bliss and wanderlust amidst the messy, confounded moments. In the valley of the shadow, I will not fear death or despair. Joy shall awaken in the sunrise. By sunset, I won't forget you are here. I cannot see, but I believe in the someday coming soon. I believe in the someday coming soon, my friends. I do. I don't know when, I don't know why, but I just do. I hope you've had a great time tonight, and I would like to end this with one of my favorite songs from a musical. I actually watched this on The Muppet Show, and I love this song a lot, and I hope you take it to heart, because this song has meant a lot to me over the years, and I hope it means a lot to you too. So here we go. If just one person believes in you, deep enough and strong enough, believes in you, hard enough and long enough, before you know it, someone else will think. If they can do it, I can do it too. Making it 2 whole people believe in you. Deep enough and strong enough, believe in you. Hard enough and long enough, there's bound to be some other person who makes believing it a threesome, making it 3. 3 people who can say, believe in me. And if 3 whole people, why not 4? If 4 whole people, why not more? And more, and more. And if all those people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, before you know it, someone will start to see what everybody else sees in you. And maybe even you can believe in you too. Don't stop believing. I believe in you. And remember, it's you I like. Love you all. Have a good evening.